a perfect loop in big arrow. The big arrowhead-shaped formation they're flying at the moment. The thing you've got to remember, none of these pilots do this as a full-time job. There are 3 professional pilots who actually fly for a living in there, but none of them fly these aircraft or fly this display as a full-time job. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an amateur team. I find that very difficult to believe. These formations are immaculate, particularly in this jostling, bustling wind.
Look at that, approaching now with the landing lights on. Perfect formation there. Originally formed in 2014 as a 5-ship, and they formed team members from the old Osprey and Team Viper, which is the Strike Masters, and the Hunter blowing the Hawk and the Tornado S3, and he's got around 5,500 hours flying. He did multiple flying missions over the Balkans in 1995, and he's also the QFI, the qualified flying instructor on the Hawk, the Grom Tutors on the University Air Squadron, and in the elementary flying training roles, which is where all the fresh new pilots get taught how to fly in the Royal Air. How many loops can he get round the 3-ship? Coming up to number 3. On to number 4. Sporting a new livery this year. That means they got a new paint display, or wrap rather, on the aircraft. Brand new.
It's a 180 horsepower Teignmouth motor, and it gives it this enormous fighter-like performance.
There's a great photo opportunity coming up dead ahead, with all the landing lights on and the smoke going. Pulling into the vertical, what a great picture. Side-by-side aircraft, like most civil aircraft are, is sitting in the middle like a fighter. Running it down from the left. Ravens 1, 2 and 3, in with smoke on. While reforming round to your right, while they're performing a loop from the 45 onto the A-axis. Running in opposition to rejoin formation with them. Wind smoke on, diving down, 4, 5 and 6. Now the main body of the formation, Ravens 1, 2 and 3, into a manoeuvre they call the twizzle. They're breaking off one after the other. By licensed engineers and deemed airworthy. So they are all completely 100% safe. Let's tell you a bit of about Ravens 4 now, our very own Gerald Williams. He used to be a professional rugby player. There really are all sorts on this team that make up incredibly interesting.
Diving in behind. This is all the more remarkable when you consider that these are not professional display pilots. They do this for the sheer love of what they fly. Now, pulling up into line of rest formations, the most difficult formation there is to fly. Every single aircraft pilot is looking sideways at the aircraft next to him while flying his aircraft. And it's in one of their signature maneuvers, the swivel.
Formation up into vertical, rolling over. Quite amazing. So we also said the roll rate 420 degrees per second, and the cruise speed about 174 knots, which is about 200 miles an hour. maximum speed being 218 knots, which is 250 miles an hour.
Now again, holding it up. Now you can see there an outside conic Lomsavac, the nose of the aircraft standing still, the tailplane describing a circle, so the aircraft literally forms a cone in the air. Huge amount of composites used in the construction of this aircraft, so not only, as Kath was saying, is it very, very light, it's also supremely strong, and you can really do these almost impossible to do in a different type of machine maneuvers with it.
It's so light as it's got carbon fibre wings and the 300 horsepower Lycoming engine, which allows it then to do a 3,300 foot per minute rate of climb. 3,300 feet per minute. It's quite something.
So basically you get from the ground to the top of Mount Everest in under 10 minutes. That's not bad going, is it? These beautiful vertical maneuvers. He really does use the best assets of this aircraft to his advantage. Now if you look very carefully at the wingtips, you'll see there's a sort of piece of wire with a cage on the end sticking back from the wingtip. And if you look at where Mike's sitting, flick on the top, now that's what he calls the solo heart, or normally known as an avalanche. It's a half loop with a flick roll at the top to perform the top of the heart, and then the other half of the loop to finish it off, sliding sideways through the air there in knife-edge flight. Just beautiful. What a machine.
So how does the pilot cope with pulling that sort of G? Like what him doing his display now, how is he dealing with the G in the cockpit, Tim?
Well, there's two ways of doing it. Under positive G, what you do is you tense all your stomach muscles and your leg muscles as tight as you can to squeeze the arteries in your legs and your stomach to stop the blood getting into your feet. Under negative G, when the blood's trying to get into your head, you literally tense your neck muscles and scream. Tightens your chest, tightens your neck, stops the blood from getting up there quite so fast. Increases your tolerance to G.
And then of course the fast jet pilots have specific G suits, don't they, which squeezes the legs, the limbs, to keep the blood in them as they're pulling this G.
That's right, the G suit does the work for you, but all that equipment, all of the oxygen equipment and pumps that you need to fill a G suit properly, it's very, very heavy. You can't afford them in an aircraft like this. Mike is doing this just purely using the muscles in his body. Saying, you'll see there's a strange sort of wire and cage sticking back from the wingtips, well, one wingtip. Now look where Mike's sitting. He's sitting behind the wing, so that when he goes up to the vertical, he's got nothing to reference against, so that wire sticks back, and those wires on the end of it, he lines them up with the horizon, so he knows he's going up at exactly 45 degrees or exactly vertical. And in competition aerobatics, being offline even by half a degree can cost you a lot of points. So that sort of perfect positioning is crucial. With a wing rock farewell as he's disappearing off towards Exeter Airport. Many, many thanks to the Starlings and many... Very well deserved round of applause. Teignmouth Airshow, thank you, 45 horsepower each. Give the aircraft a maximum speed, about 246 miles an hour.
just got to be quiet when that aircraft makes the pass in front of you, because the sound of that those Merlin engines is just iconic. I'm sure you'll all agree.
As they flew past there, showing you one of the main design features of the aircraft and why the Lancaster was so successful. Basically, Roy Chadwick, who designed the aircraft, started with a 33-foot-long hole and designed an aeroplane around it. The Halifax, the Sterling, the other bombers of the Second World War, the structure of the aircraft went through the bomb bay, which meant it limited the maximum size of the bomb it could carry. The Lancaster, the spar goes through the fuselage, which is why you could get a thing called Lancaster shin, banging your legs on it, climbing over it, but it meant there was no limit to the size of bomb load it could carry.
Did it have an attack capability, it also had a defensive capability. So within the aircraft there are 3 different positions that air gunners would be. And now running back in from the left, you can see she's got her gear down now. So it's the gear down pass. Great noisy run. Let me tell you a little bit about the Royal Air Force Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. They're operated out of other aircraft within the BBMF. They've also got 6 Spitfires, 2 Hurricanes, obviously the Lancaster, a C-47 Dakota, and 2 Chippies, 2 Chipmunks. And very proud now to have HRH Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, as their patron.
Yes!
It's interesting, the chipmunks that she mentioned form a very important role because
team bends to the right. That indicates to me that Red One has either chosen a rolling or a flat show based on the cloud base. He calls for the manoeuvre and you can see that the team start to collapse simultaneously into 7 arrow shape. Red One bringing the formation around to the right. Red One is squadron leader Tom Bold. He is in his 2nd year as the team leader, having previously been the synchro lead in 2017. He's also flown operationally on the Typhoon and is a qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T Mark II and Tucano, having previously been Tucano display pilot. As the team roll to the left, on the right hand side closest in is Flight Lieutenant Stu Roberts, Red 2. He's in his 1st year on the team, having previously flown Typhoon on 11 and 12 squadrons at RAF Coningsby. His opposite number on the left hand side is Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Patrick Kershaw, known as Paddy. He's a previous Tornado 4, Bondi. Bondi is in his 5th year on the team, having previously been synchro leader last year. He's a former Typhoon pilot, qualified flying instructor on the Tucano, and he was also the Tucano display pilot in 2012. Reds 4 and 5 smoke as Reds 2, 3, 4 and 5 move in line abreast formation to sit just behind Red 1. The go call is made by Red 7, and Red 6 moves to the right behind Red 2, and Red 7 moves to the left behind Red 3. This is all while Red 1 is bending the formation around to the right at approximately 3G, making the move even more difficult for the Phoenix roll. As the formation rolls to the left, you can see the iconic shape of the Hawk aircraft. The Hawk came into service with the Royal Air Force in 1976 and has been with the Royal Air Force aerobatic team, the Red Arrows, since 1979, when it replaced the Follard Gnat. In March 2022, 100 Squadron Royal Air Force and 736 Royal Naval Squadron closed, and therefore that makes the Royal Air Force aerobatic team the sole operator of the Hawk T1 in the United Kingdom. The motto of the Royal Air Force aerobatic team, the Red Arrows, is a clap, roll, go, and a board is called. As the Reds 4 and 5 roll around the smoke of the rest of the formation. As the formation bends to right, get ready for the colour change. As Reds 4 and 5 now smoke red and blue, with Red 5 smoking red is Flight Lieutenant Dave Simmons Simo. Simo is a previous Tornado pilot and has also flown the Harrier and F5 while on exchange with the United States Marine Corps. You may have seen that the aircraft are now flying with their air brakes out. Of her Platinum Jubilee, Teignmouth, get your cameras ready for the colourful Jubilee Present. Synchro pair, Red 6 and 7 break away from us with Red 7 smoking red and Red 6 smoking blue. With the white smoke. The red goes on as they form a series of barrel rolls through the sky, leaving a snake-like smoke trail through the sky in the Python. With a quick pass, pulling hard for the carousel. Red 6 and 7 now pulling up to approximately 5G. That means everything about them is now weighing 5 times heavier than you and I as we stand where we are. Once again, passing within feet of each other around the rear before Red 7 works hard to create that missed distance back around the front on Red 6. Red smoke goes on by Reds 2 and 3 as they perform a barrel roll around the formation of Reds 4 and 5. Reds 4 and 5 smoke blue as they barrel roll around Reds 2 and 3 in one of the hardest manoeuvres for our new pilots every year in the rollbacks. can see Enid formation in now in a informed inverted V shape with red 6 lining up for the colourful double goose.
Leave it right now.
Each aircraft is fitted with a smoke pod. That smoke pod is capable of producing 5 minutes of white smoke, 1 minute of blue smoke and 1 minute of red smoke. And therefore every display is carefully choreographed to ensure that we have the right smoke in the right colour at your camera's ready for when the red smoke comes on. And the synchro pair split for the crowd favourite, the Synchro Heart. Once again, give the synchro pair a round of applause for the beautiful red heart in the bay over Teignmouth. Once again, get your cameras ready as red one smokes red and rolls around the smoke of the rest of the formation, forming the infinity symbol for the infinity break. It's been an absolute honour and a pleasure to display for you today, but please, once again, put your hands together for the 2022 Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows!